Hey, everyone, there's this thing that happens when someone finally says what they should have said months ago. The air shifts, your stomach flips, and suddenly everything you thought you knew rearranges itself into something completely different that's coming for you. Welcome back. It's Anna, and I'm going to be straight with you about what I'm picking up on right now. Someone's been holding back, like really holding back, biting their tongue, swallowing words, keeping feelings locked down so tight they've probably given themselves actual physical tension from it, and they're about to crack. Let me describe what I mean. You may know exactly who this is, or maybe you have no idea. Maybe there's someone in your orbit who's always been careful, measured, never quite letting you see the full picture of how they feel. Some people operate like they're constantly editing themselves in real time. They start to say something real and then backtrack. They lean in emotionally and then pull away. They give you just enough to keep you interested, but never enough to feel certain. It might feel like every conversation with this person has this weird undercurrent, like there's a whole other conversation happening beneath the surface that neither of you is acknowledging. And you've probably wondered, am I making this up? Am I reading into things? Or is there actually something here they're not saying? Let's stop right here, because I need you to get really honest with yourself. This reflection invites you to consider, is there someone who acts different around you than they act around everyone else? Like maybe they're louder with other people, but quieter with you. Or they're casual with everyone else, but weirdly formal when it's just the two of you. You may have noticed these little micro adjustments they make, the way they position themselves when you're in the same room, how they find reasons to be near you, how they remember random details you mentioned weeks ago that most people would forget. It's possible you've been tracking this without even realizing it, filing away moments, building a case in your mind, trying to decide if you're seeing what you think you're seeing. And here's what I need you to know. You're not imagining it. Some people hold back for all kinds of reasons. Fear, timing, uncertainty about whether you feel the same past hurt that makes vulnerability feel dangerous. But holding back doesn't mean not feeling. It just means feeling quietly, privately, in ways they think you can't detect. You may have been in situations where this person almost said something. You could feel it building, the conversation getting deeper, their guard dropping, and then nothing. They switched topics, made a joke, retreated back to safe territory, and you were left standing there like, wait, what just happened? It can feel maddening when you're on the receiving end, like being given pieces of a puzzle, but never enough to see the full image. This reflection invites you to consider, have there been moments with this person where you thought they were about to say something important but didn't? There's something specific happening right now in their internal world. It's possible they've reached a breaking point, not a bad one, just a point where keeping quiet is harder than speaking up, where the risk of rejection feels smaller than the weight of unsaid words. Some people can only hold things in for so long before the pressure becomes unbearable, before every interaction feels like a performance, before the gap between what they feel and what they show becomes too exhausting to maintain. You may start noticing changes soon, subtle ones at first. They might text you more, or differently, more vulnerable, more honest, less filtered. Or they might do the opposite and pull back completely because they're terrified of what they're about to do. It can feel like the energy between you is building towards something, like you're both standing at the edge of a conversation that will change everything once it happens. This reflection invites you to consider, does the energy between you and this person feel different lately, more charged, more tense. Let me talk about what a love confession from someone who was always holding back actually looks like. It's possible it won't be smooth. It might be clumsy. They might stumble over words, start and stop, apologize for bringing it up, because people who hold back aren't practiced at being emotionally direct. They're used to hiding, deflecting, protecting themselves. So when they finally open up, it's raw, unpolished, a little messy. Some people expect confessions to be like movies, perfect speeches, romantic gestures, confidence, and clarity. But real confessions, they're nervous. Rushed in some parts and painfully slow in others. Full of, I don't know how to say this and this might be stupid, but you may need to look past the delivery and hear the substance, because what they're trying to say matters more than how smoothly they say it. It can feel overwhelming when someone finally lays it all out, all the feelings they've been carrying, all the moments that mattered to them, all the reasons they've been holding back, and why they can't anymore. This reflection invites you to consider if someone confessed feelings for you that you suspected but weren't sure about, how would that change things? There's something about timing I need to address. It's possible you've been waiting for this, or maybe you moved on from waiting and it's about to happen anyway. Or maybe you had no idea and it's going to completely blindside you. Timing in these situations is rarely perfect. They might confess right when you've decided to stop wondering, or right when you're exploring something with someone else, or right when you're in a complicated place emotionally. Some people get frustrated by this. Like, why now? Where was this energy 6 months ago when I was actually waiting? And that's valid, because timing does matter. And someone holding back when you needed clarity, that caused real confusion, real hurt. You may feel conflicted when this confession comes. Part of you relieved, part of you frustrated, part of you excited, part of you unsure if it's too late. All of those feelings can exist at once. You don't have to pick one. This reflection invites you to consider, if the timing feels off, does that mean the feeling isn't real or just that it's complicated? Let me talk about what happens after the confession. It's possible everything gets easier. The tension dissolves. You both know where you stand. The guessing game ends, or everything gets harder, because now there's an actual decision to make instead of just wondering. Some people prefer the mystery to the reality. The what if feels safer than the what now. But most people, they want to know. Even if it's scary, even if it changes everything, they want the truth over the ambiguity. You may find that once this person confesses, you feel this massive sense of relief. Like, oh, thank God it wasn't just me. Or you might feel pressure. Like, now you have to have an answer, a response, a decision. It can feel like the stakes just got real in a way they weren't before, because words make things official, and official means accountable. This reflection invites you to consider, are you ready for this person to be direct about their feelings? Or does part of you prefer the current ambiguity? There's something about happiness that the title mentions will make you so happy. It's possible it will. Maybe this is exactly what you've been wanting to hear from exactly the person you've been wanting to hear it from. And hearing someone say out loud what you've been hoping they felt, that can feel like validation, like proof you weren't making it up, like your instincts were right. Some people spend so long second guessing themselves in these situations, wondering if they're delusional, if they're projecting, if they're seeing what they want to see, and then the person confirms it. And suddenly you're not crazy. You were just patient. You may feel this rush of happiness mixed with finally, mixed with I knew it. It can feel like something clicking into place, like a question you didn't realize you were holding finally getting answered. But here's what else might happen. You might feel happy and then immediately feel something else. Fear, uncertainty, doubt about whether this can actually work, worry about ruining what you already have, because confessions change dynamics. And sometimes people realize they like the potential more than they want the reality. This reflection invites you to consider, if this person confessed their feelings, would you be more excited or more anxious? Let me slow down and talk about something important. A love confession will make you so happy. But happiness isn't the only thing that matters. What matters more is whether this person is actually ready to back up their words with behavior. Whether they're confessing because they want to build something real or because they're reacting to losing access to you. Some people confess feelings when they sense you pulling away, when someone else shows interest, when they're about to lose the option of you. And those confessions, they're more about control than connection. You may need to pay attention to the context. What prompted this? Why now? What changed? Because if they're confessing because they finally feel safe to, or because they genuinely can't hold it in anymore, that's one thing. But if they're confessing because you're moving on and they can't handle it, that's different. This reflection invites you to consider, do you think this person's confession would be about wanting you or about not wanting to lose you? There's something about worthiness underneath all of this. It's possible you've been making excuses for this person's holding back, telling yourself they're just scared, just cautious, just waiting for the right time. Inhale. But here's the truth. You deserve someone who doesn't make you guess, who doesn't leave you in limbo, who doesn't treat their feelings like a secret you have to decode. Some people are so grateful when someone finally confesses that they overlook the months of confusion that preceded it. They accept the confession without addressing the holding back, without asking, why did you make me wonder for so long? You may be tempted to just be happy it's happening and not question the process. But the process matters because it shows you how this person handles vulnerability, how they handle risk, how they handle you. And if they handled you by keeping you uncertain, that's information. This reflection invites you to consider, does this person's confession erase the confusion they caused by holding back? Let me talk about what you might actually need if this confession happens. It's possible you need more than words. You need proof, consistency, follow through. Because anyone can confess feelings in a moment of emotion, but can they sustain those feelings through actual relationship building, through conflict, through boring Tuesday afternoons? Some people are great at confession and terrible at commitment, great at intensity and terrible at stability. You may need to see if this person can match their words with actions, if they can be as vulnerable on a random Thursday as they were in their confession moment, because confession is just the beginning. What comes after is what actually matters. It can feel romantic when someone finally admits they've been hiding feelings. Like it's this big, dramatic moment. But real love isn't just confession. It's conversation, negotiation, daily choice. This reflection invites you to consider, what would you need to see from this person after they confess to actually trust it's real? There's something about your own feelings that deserves attention. It's possible you've been so focused on whether they like you that you haven't asked yourself if you even want this. Like, yes, maybe you had a crush. Maybe you wondered. Maybe you hoped. But do you actually want to pursue something with this person? Or do you just want the validation of being wanted? Some people realize once the confession happens that they're not actually interested. They just liked the attention, the mystery, the ego boost. And that's okay. You're allowed to change your mind, to realize wanting someone to want you isn't the same as wanting them. You may need to get honest about whether you're excited about this person or just excited about being chosen. This reflection invites you to consider, if this person confessed tomorrow, would your first feeling be relief or obligation? Let me address the happiness part one more time. Will make you so happy. Maybe. If it's the right person, if the timing's right, if you're both ready. But happiness isn't guaranteed just because someone confesses feelings. Sometimes confessions complicate things. Sometimes they come too late. Sometimes they reveal that you wanted different things. Some people are happier with the confession than with what comes after, because once someone says the thing out loud, you have to deal with it. You can't just wonder anymore. You have to decide. You remain in complete control of how you respond to this. You can say yes, you can say no, you can say, I need time to think. The power is yours. It always has been. You may notice reading this has brought up a specific person, or maybe multiple people, or maybe just a lot of feelings about being in limbo with someone. Whatever it is, honor it. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Trust your gut about who this is and what it means. Before we close, I want to ask you something. If someone who's been holding back finally confessed their feelings, what would you need to hear to take it seriously? Drop it in the comments if you want to name it. And is there someone right now who you think might be holding back feelings for you? How do you know? What are the signs? A love confession from someone who was always holding back will make you so happy. Maybe, if they show up right, if they mean it, if they're ready. But also, you don't need their confession to be happy. You don't need anyone to validate your worth by finally admitting they see it. You're already valuable, already worthy, already whole. Not eventually, right now, today. Trust yourself with this. Trust that you'll know what to do when it happens. If it makes you happy, great. If it makes you uncertain, that's okay too. I'll see you in the next one. And listen, confessions are just words until they're backed by consistent action. Wait for the action, then decide